Hey,
Hello.
everybody. Hey, Victoria.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's summertime. I missed you. And here we are. I'm back from my
Yeah,
travels and we're ready to go.
I am kind of jealous that you've been able to go all over the place. I've been mostly fetching kids and doing the mom thing and not getting to do much with the vacation things just yet this summer.
Yeah.
My last one comes home to roost on Saturday.
Aw.
Yeah. But I will say, we have added a new member of the family, which has been a three-ring circus. I had forgotten how much of a three-ring circus bringing a puppy into the family could be.
Yes.
Oh, my Lanta. Oh, my word. She is a barrel of monkeys and three quarters. She's part kangaroo, part velociraptor, and I didn't know that dogs made really good chipper shredders.
Mm. Mm. Oops.
Oops. Yeah,
How old
seriously.
is she?
She's between 7 and 8 months old, and she is a treeing walker coonhound, we think. So anyway, so she's long and skinny and tall and
I used to be.
extremely athletic, and she can
Doing.
literally jump across my bed in a single bound, and she'll jump into my lap from the floor from halfway across the room, and then, of course, land on my stomach, while I'm asleep, which is a real crowd pleaser.
Mm.
Um, and she's very enthusiastic and very bouncy and all the puppy things. And, of course, we've put the baby gates up so she can't go upstairs and leave my children a gift in the hall in the middle of the night. Um, but she was pulling up the carpet.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
And her name is?
her name is Amy, which is short for amethyst, and she's a sweet critter. She's a lot of fun, and she likes books. She eats books and
Oh.
magazines,
Oh.
um, toilet paper rolls. Um, yeah, and apparently she's extremely lactose intolerant. We found this out after we gave her pup cups from Starbucks, and the result was really bad.
I gather.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
where did you get her?
So we adopted her from a local rescue called Roar NC, and it's an amazing rescue. And she and her brothers were, yes, we've been keeping the bathroom doors closed, um, and our bedroom door closed. And we have baby gates on the stairs. So we adopted her from Roar NC. She and her siblings were ditched on the side of the road with mange in Cumberland County, and Roar rescued them from the shelter and got them healthy and helped them gain weight. And so we were one of the fosters, and we foster failed. And her brother is still available for adoption, and he's just as much of a sweet, adorable hot mess. And you know, they have just the organization has just pulled 12 new dogs out of a variety of shelters and rescued out of a variety of shelters, from puppies on up to seniors. If you want to look them up, it's Roar and See. I'll actually put it up in the banner here while I'm talking about it. And they have got a huge need right now for donations through Amazon and donations through PayPal, because they've gotten some puppies and dogs that just need, a lot of medical attention. One of the puppies has what looks like pretty severe mange, so they're treating him. You can follow along the story on Brittany Hyder's page and on the Roar NC page. He is just this tiny, he was 3.5 pounds baby. He's gained a pound in the few days that they've had him. It's a great organization. Needless to say, we're kind of done with fostering for a bit until we get our hot mess brigade under control here, because it's a hot mess in my house and the cats are not happy, and the Jojo is okay, but we're definitely working on obedience training and being good dog parents. Amy went for at least 4 walks today with my husband and walked for like a total of like 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm. So we're walking her 4 and 5, 6, 7 miles a day. She needs the exercise.
I was going to say that ought to settle her down. And this is Cutter, because I'm outside and I'm getting bitten.
You're getting eaten alive, yeah.
Yeah.
We have our fair share of skeeters here.
It's nice to be outside, so
I'm excited this year. I've actually seen lots and lots of lightning bugs. I don't know if you've seen a bunch, but where I am in North Carolina, I had seen fewer and fewer and fewer of them. And I pulled up to the front yard the other night. We were driving up and I could see them. It almost looked like twinkle lights all up in the front of my house. Yeah, the walks do wear Amy out. She definitely benefits from all of the walking. And in fact, my son is in the kitchen. I think he just walked her again. So that's like 6 or 7 walks today. Y'all will ask the question, well, don't you have a fenced-in backyard? The answer is no. And she's a climber, so we would have to have a solid 6-foot fence, and she's back talking him now. We've looked into getting an electric fence, and apparently they're not real good with this type of dog because they're a scent hound. They catch a scent of something and they start chasing a squirrel and they're gone, and then they're afraid to come back in. So leash it is until she's proven otherwise.
And what does she weigh?
She's currently just under 30 pounds. So she's severely underweight. The breed that she is, y'all can look it up, a treeing walker coonhound, normally gets to be 50 to 70 pounds. So we think that she's probably going to be like 40, 45 pounds. And she just got spayed last week. So we've been dealing with that and all the things. And I have my older dog, who is a golden retriever rescue, who is just walking under my desk. She's about 65 pounds. And about 10 years old. We rescued her last year from Love Mutts, which is a different rescue. And she is a hot mess as well. And she has decided that I am her emotional support human, and she must not be out of my sight at any point in time. So if I get up and go from my office to have to even go to the bathroom, she has to follow me into the bathroom and check it out and make sure that the coast is clear and that it's safe for mom. And then I'm permitted to enter the bathroom. She's very sweet.
Well, I have 2 sibling dogs, and we got them 4 years ago today. And I have my barn mutt over here, my doodle mutt, and we've had her for 3 years next month. Aww. So what would we do without our wonderful creatures?
Our mutts. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. And we also have 3 cats, and we used to have a rabbit and a chinchilla, and we have a turtle. And if y'all ever want to talk about dog rescue, just let me know. And I also have 4 kids, by the way. I have 4 kids and a foreign exchange student. So my oldest child is completely out of the house. And then I have my 3 younger ones. My number 2 child and number 4 child are currently here with the foreign exchange student. And then I'm going to have my older son will be home this weekend. So wish me luck, y'all, having a 15-year-old boy and a 19-year-old boy in the house at the same time. I can already tell from like when my son came home from school, the increase in the amount of food that's going through the house. And I'm like, oh, Lordy.
You'll be at Costco on a regular basis.
Yeah, Aldi, Costco, you name it. He eats a lot of pasta. The boy can go through a lot of spaghetti and macaroni and cheese. The 2 of them.
It's perfect food.
It is spaghetti and macaroni and cheese and chocolate mousse and hamburgers and anything that um, isn't nailed down. Anybody who has teenage boys will understand me when I say that. And I am constantly like, I can sit here and watch him go by, and it's like one trip to the fridge, two trips to the fridge, three trips to the fridge, and more and more and more and more. It's really impressive how much. Go take her for a run. Yeah, put on your running shoes. Yeah, she is a chaos mite. So my son is dealing with the chaos meister in the background.
Well, we will have lightning bugs in about 2 weeks. I've seen a couple. I hope that wasn't lightning. I hope that wasn't thunder that I just heard. They
Oh, I
said
hope
that
not.
between 8 and 9, and that was the only time that we were supposed to have anything.
Yeah.
As you
So
can hear, my hillbilly doorbells, right? And
yes,
yeah,
mine acts like a doorbell.
it was lightning. So let's see how close it is, and that's going to determine. Nope, 25 miles to the north. We're going to just ignore that. So
yeah, you're not going to get poured on just yet.
I was at a wedding in Virginia, and it was outside, no tents, tables, and
what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, really? And it was this huge thunderstorm. The lightning was 4 miles away. I was sitting 10 feet from the flagpole by the lake by my brother-in-law in a wheelchair. And nobody made any arrangements for how do we get them out of here? How do we get them to the men's room? It was wild. So anyway, and the storm
That can be sporting.
by. Yeah, it was. The storm passed by. It did a lot of lightning and thunder, and it rained for about 10 seconds, and then it was gone. So the wedding was lovely. Yeah,
You probably heard the barking in the background.
I did.
Yes.
You heard mine. Yeah.
I heard your barking in the background. Yes.
Yeah.
What's amazing is that you can hear my barking despite the fact that I'm using this. So imagine. So one of the interesting things about my new puppy is they have a distinctive bark. And it's like a cross between a yowl and a bark.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a yowl kind of sound. But that's my son.
My little dog just heard that sound and jumped. Only she's 90 pounds. She's not so little.
Your little bitty one?
Yeah, 90 pounds.
Is that Happy?
Happy.
Yeah. She is so sweet. Yeah.
She
is. And
is.
tonight we were talking about friendship and the power of friends and how important that is.
Mm-hmm. You know, being at this wedding, and then we were a couple other places and seeing people we hadn't seen in a long time, and everybody was saying, now that we're coming out of isolation, how important friendship is and how much that's a priority compared to many other things. That how isolating and how, I'm moving the chair over, how isolating and how difficult this was for so many people. And what would they do without their friends and without Zoom? And you know, this has nothing to do with friendship, but I went to the Chanel counter day before yesterday to get some new foundation, and not being 30 years old anymore, I was looking for something dewy and not matte, and they said, no, we don't make much of it anymore. We're phasing out the dewy line. People only want matte because they're always on Zoom conferences and they don't want anything shiny. And I thought, isn't that interesting how much the world has changed? Because that's how people are seeing one another now. That's how they're doing business. And, you know, to see people, I was out for lunch today and see people that I haven't seen in a long, long time because they've been hiding. And it's just so different. I don't know if we're ever going to get back to normal again. I don't know.
I don't know that normal is going to look like it has been, you know, and I think that we as humans have options to build relationships, whether it's online, whether it's through Zoom or meeting up in person, meeting outdoors, going for a walk in the park, and I feel like so many times we don't take the opportunity to build the relationships and build that safety net and that network around us until it's too late sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
who would have figured this?
yeah, and I was actually talking to somebody today who I met in my BNI chapter, and we were in the same BNI chapter for several years. And, I was telling her, what has come out of BNI for me is not just like the business, although I've moved on, it was really the friendships. And, it's the friendships that I really cherish. And I'm not being melodramatic when I say that it was those friendships and those relationships that literally saved my family's life. And y'all may think I'm like being kind of over the top. And the reality is that my family has gone through a very traumatic experience with our oldest child. And, she had some really scary episodes. Um, and, it was those friends and those relationships that got me to the people I needed to get to in order to get the kind of help that we needed when we needed it, and helping me navigate through a really broken medical and mental health system. Um,
Non-existent mental health system, pretty much, right?
that too, yeah, exactly. And and helping me understand the words that I needed to use and the contacts that I needed and all the things. And I really do credit that group with that. And also, my personal trainer was a member of that group, and that's how I've lost 160 pounds and kept it off.
Isn't that
And
wonderful?
it's been amazing. And somebody who is really just such an amazing personal trainer who has really been foundational in my life, and it's those relationships that have saved my life, literally so many different ways.
Hmm. Hmm.
um and staying in touch with people during COVID, and being friends and building friendships has been critical. I feel like we isolate ourselves too much. We sit at home. Everybody's working from home now. Um, and it can be really isolating.
I think children are the most harmed. We have coping skills, but I, I, I see how children are harmed by this. And I was
Hmm.
talking to a parent recently, and he was saying his daughter used to do soccer and used to do dance, and she's just not interested in anything anymore.
Mm.
And kids who want to hide behind their masks because they feel safer, and it's just, it's like, no, you don't have to wear it anymore. No, no, I could get sick and die. And it
Hmm.
just it's so hard on children. And how do you make friends, when you're a kid, and you're supposed to be in school making friends, and you don't get to school and you're at home and months at a time. And it's just,
I think it depends on the kid. I will say that in high school, my older son made friends with people online through various online communities. Um, and for him, it's a much more comfortable space. My son, my oldest, is an extreme introvert, and he's also a software computer science major in college. So the apple did not fall far from the tree. Um, both my husband and I are computer geeks. But it's just interesting. It depends on the kid. I think my younger daughter definitely struggled with the lack of personal contact, that in-person contact. My youngest son struggled with that somewhat, but we were able to mitigate that greatly by sending him where we did for his school. Not this last school year, but the year before. But not everybody has the same resources, and I will totally grant you that. My ability to ask for and find and hunt down and get what we need when we need it. It's definitely a thing.
So now I have to yell at them.
You're
And you
welcoming
made them
committee.
bark.
And your welcoming committee.
Yeah, the hillbilly doorbells, right?
Absolutely. I'm glad that mine can't hear yours barking or she would start, but she is currently sitting under my desk snoring.
Well, they just went inside, and I think I might have
Oh,
gotten locked out because we automatically locked the door. It's so funny. Um, so tell me what is most important in a friend for you.
for me, sometimes it's somebody who just listens and doesn't pass judgment on no matter how batshit crazy things are. I mean, you've been that kind of friend for me for years, especially when my daughter was bouncing in and out of the hospital like a bunch of teenage girls on a trampoline. Um, we had 19 hospitalizations for mental health issues in
In a
in
very
the
short
matter of
period of
in a
time.
very short period of time. Yeah. And she would be home for a couple of weeks and then back into the hospital. The shortest period of time she was out of the hospital was 12 hours. The longest was about 3 months. So yeah, I mean, having a friend who doesn't judge, and I mean, sometimes it's being able to have a friend who's like, you might maybe should meet this person, or maybe you should talk to this person, or maybe you should ask this question, right? And for me, that was vitally important, right? It is just the thinking through it. Like, okay, so how am I going to build this business of mine while trying to manage the chaos that my house was? And if y'all think 2 dogs and 4 kids and cats is chaos, oh no, this is like nothing by comparison. And, it's just been interesting because, um, you know, having somebody who doesn't judge has been vitally important to me. Having somebody who can say, hey, I get it. I see that you're stress eating. Here, let me have a bar of chocolate with you. Or let me pass you the Oreos because I know that you shouldn't have them, but maybe right now is not the time to have that discussion about maybe the Oreos are not the best choice. Um, and just being there, I think is so important. What about you?
I think about the confidentiality of a friend and
Mhm.
the kindness. I was just on the phone with a friend who has a very ill parent, and we were talking, and he was telling me things about the status of his dad's case. And having been an oncology nurse, I knew what I was hearing.
Mhm.
And he said, oh, well, there are 3 lesions on his liver, but they can take those off. And I'm thinking, oh boy, the father has metastatic cancer. And I said something to my friend about it, and I thought, oh, was I being a bad friend? And I thought, no, because
Mhm.
I'm the friend that you can talk to about this stuff.
Mhm.
And
I feel like sometimes the medical community doesn't
I,
really
yeah,
tell you
the
anything.
medical
They
community was just, lollipops and roses here. And I'm thinking,
exactly. I had a lot of that lollipops and roses. Like, oh, we'll be able to stabilize her. No, you won't. And I
yeah,
finally had a doctor at CRH of all places. By the time I'd already kind of figured some of this stuff out, she's like, oh, yeah, well, statistically. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. She's like, oh, thank God. But most doctors don't tell you any of that about this illness
mm-mm,
or,
mm-mm.
or, or any illness. Oh, well, we can treat that. Yeah, bull crap, bull hockey, or, oh, like my husband's father was dying, and they're like, "Oh, he's got a basal cell carcinoma on his face. We need to take that off."
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what was going on that precipitated this phone call. And um, I'm watching the lightning, which is getting a little bit closer. And I think as a friend, I can tell you what I think, and then I can say, and I'll be there. And that's what I'm looking for as a friend as well.
mhm.
Is I have
And
another
I will
friend
be
that,
there.
yeah, I'll be there. And that I had
Let
another
me
friend,
know,
and
and I'll
we were
show up with a
talking
shovel.
today. No, no.
No questions
I'm an
asked.
officer of the court. We can't do that. No, 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 no. And if I think you're going to commit a crime, all bets are off on confidentiality. Um, no, a a friend where
Or
you
I'll
can
show up with
be
the
your true
margaritas.
self.
Yeah.
A friend where you can be your true self and they're not going to condemn you for it. If you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. They love you anyway. And I think about that, and I think about friends. The whole friend thing has changed over the years. What is an important friend and what isn't?
Mhm.
Um,
Don't make me show up with a bottle of tequila.
and a friend is a person you can call in the middle of the night. A friend is
Mhm.
somebody you can say, "I'm in trouble. I need to
Mhm.
talk," or
And I'll
"Am
be
I
there.
crazy? But I got this in front of me." And
Mhm.
um,
Am I
yeah,
crazy? Yes.
yeah, it could be crazy for the day. I got to pick up my pen. Um,
You're throwing things at me again.
I am
And friends who love you no matter what. Absolutely. And,
right.
it's
That's just Vic
just,
being Vic, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
what friends are, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking.
Mhm.
I had a friend who got divorced and was really brokenhearted, and she referred to her therapist as her paid friend. And I thought, wow, that's a really nice term of endearment. And she said, and it's been 15 years, whatever it's been. It's been a long time. She said that woman paid my life. It saved my life. She's my paid friend, and she saved my life. And I think about that, and I think, wow, how do we save our friends' lives every day? How do we do that? How do we extend that Christian charity to people, that mercy and that compassion and that lack of judgment and that goodness? How do we do that? And I think, follow that model and it'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like, yeah, we need to extend, and hold that space for people. It's so important. And I noticed that I
I don't
look
know.
like I'm freezing again. Great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it's you or me, but yeah. And your voice turns to metal
I
when,
think it's my internet again.
oh, that's not good when the computer lady has internet problems.
I've
Lost you.
always been able to walk into the lab and have computers fall over dead.
We, my
Y'all, I
father was
can scare computers into submission.
my father was an engineer and a pilot. My brother is not an engineer, but certainly has the knowledge of one and is also a pilot. I am not an engineer and also a pilot. And we used to joke about when my dad would walk up to the airplane,
Hmm.
that airplane would just go, "Oh, Bill's here. I love you, Bill. You just fly me so well." And my brother, same thing. And for me, it's like, don't touch me. You're not an engineer. You have no business being it. It was really funny. I'd have trouble starting it. Not my dad. He just knew just what it's funny. I think about
Just
that.
jiggle it just so, and it
Yeah,
just.
yeah. And I think I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah, the anthropomorphizing of machinery. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Friends with inanimate objects. I don't know. I don't think I could have a
I could
robot.
take that the wrong way.
Okay, whatever you mean. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Anyway, um, friendship. What would we do without it? I mean,
Yeah,
if you aren't friends with your spouse, you're sunk.
that's our
You know,
lives.
if you don't have that basic um, relationship of friendship and compassion and mercy and all that. So
I agree.
anyway, I'm really glad you're my friend. I'm really glad we could talk about this. I've missed you and I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back. Let's do this again next week.
We will. And I will see you. And I thank everybody for tuning in. And I thank you all for being there. And anyway,
Y'all
so,
take care. Have a blessed week. We'll talk soon.
okay. Bye
Bye,
bye.
y'all.